I woke up in the middle of the night thinking it was just another bad dream. I got to the window and the city outside looked like an old frozen photo. No cars passing, no flickering lights, no sound that suggested anyone was still alive there. My footsteps in the hallway sounded too loud, like I was the only thing making noise in that quiet world. The silence was so weird, I almost laughed at how out of place I felt. I walked slowly through streets I used to know, but that now felt foreign. Storefronts were clean and empty, mannequins standing motionless like statues waiting for something that would never come. There was that smell of dust and closed wardrobes, the kind of smell time leaves when it decides to stop. I searched for a sign, a human breath, any trace that would tell me this wasn't just imagination. I kept wondering where everyone had gone and if there was a secret map I didn't know how to read. The lampposts along the sidewalks were like blown-out candles. I tried to will a light on with my stare, like my will could bring the place back, but nothing happened. Apartment windows were dark, some with curtains tightly shut. They looked like eyes that had chosen to close forever. The city watched me, but not with concern. Only indifference. And that indifference hurt as much as the emptiness itself. I wanted to bang on windows, call someone, just to prove I wasn't hallucinating. With each block I crossed, the streets felt narrower and the buildings taller, growing into walls. Everything seemed to conspire to keep me inside a maze where every exit turned into another familiar street. It was a silent suffocation. I walked, and the world stayed unchanged, impassive, as if my urgency were just a temporary noise to it. Every time I tried to speed up, the city adjusted its pace to slow me down. In the square, there was a clock on a tower I used to see as a kid. Today, the hands were frozen, stuck on 1 minute that would never change. I stared at it too long, trying to figure out if the clock had stopped or if time had simply decided not to include me. It felt like my outer world and my inner world had synchronized in the same pause. A strange chill ran through me, like the city itself was looking right at me. That's when the truth hit me softly. The city was my mirror. Every empty street was a corridor inside me. Every closed door a memory I'd locked away. The landscape wasn't merely external, it was the map of my own desert. I looked at the buildings and saw stacked memories, windows I never opened, people who left and never came back. All of it showed me who I'd become. I realized this void came from quiet choices I'd made long ago. A flood of memories came over me. Laughter from places that no longer exist, conversations that felt like another life, tiny routines that used to define me and now seemed unreal. Voices that once filled the pavements were only sound shadows living in my head. I tried to follow one of those voices, but they dissolved before I could reach them. The memories showed up like old film reels, shaky, faded with time. I stopped in front of a shattered shop window and saw my reflection broken into pieces. It was the same face, but divided into pages of an old newspaper, some pages yellowed, others torn. The tired lines on my face were grooves I didn't remember earning. There was something odd about recognizing myself and still not being sure who I was inside that face. I searched for the shards for a piece that would make me whole again. I took a deep breath and the air felt heavy, like every inhale needed more effort than usual. The whole city seemed to press on me with its silence, and I wanted to scream just to prove I could still make noise. But the voice died in my throat, too small. I realized escaping wasn't simply crossing the street, it meant facing all the closed doors inside me. Asking for help felt like admitting the city had won, and that hurt. I kept walking with no clear destination. The streets repeated like verses of the same sad song. Looking back, nothing had changed. Looking forward, only more emptiness. The imaginary camera rose and showed me as a tiny dot in a huge city, a small stain in a matching silence. And then I understood. Loneliness wasn't a visitor. It was the home I had grown used to living in. Maybe the way out was learning to talk to the shadows that stayed.